Well, good morning, Real and Raw. It is January 21st. We now have our president in office. He was just inaugurated yesterday, President Donald John Trump, and we are very excited about that. So, I am down here in our garage, and it is a very cold day here in Georgia. We do not have any snow like the southern parts of Georgia. It's like from Atlanta south, they're getting snow, even in the panhandle. I mean, it's just crazy weather. But I will say that a hat is always wise to wear when you're cold. If you keep your head and your ears warm, we used to have a log cabin, and when it would get cold, I would wear a hat to sleep. And it does make a difference, so try it. I'm looking at my thermometer that we keep down here. I don't know if you can see that, but it is... there it is, 47.8 with a 48% humidity. But that is warmer than I thought, since it's 17 degrees outside with the wind chill. It is getting close to noon. We slept in a little bit, but it's going to be a great day of baking bread. So I thought I would bring you along. You've probably seen other videos where we showed you how we grind our own or mill our own wheat berries. And that's what we're going to do again today. So let me show you where I'm at with this. This is why I have, I'm going to bring this over. This is why I have this area over here, this setup, and then this table here, because the wheat berries can be a little messy. And also I just like to keep it away from my kitchen. I don't have the room to store my wheat berries up there. But I purchased my wheat berries from a local bread baker, bread distributor, not even bread distributor, but bread making equipment and necessities to make bread. And I also can get them on Azure, which I told you about on a previous video. So check that out. You may want to try different options. For now, I'm going to show you my Wonder Mill, which I absolutely love. It is nice and compact, easy cleanup, and I just love it. So we've had this probably going on 4 years now, and it's out of the way. It cleans up nicely, like I said. This here is where I'm going to capture all of the flour that's going to fall in there from the wheat berries. So I'm just going to simply attach that here, like that. And then I have a filter here that I just clean. Keep that in there. I've already checked this, snapped down, ready to go. And here is where I'm going to pour in my berries. Now I do have a conversion chart that tells you how many cups of wheat berries in order to get however many cups of flour that you need. So for today, I'm going to do 4 cups of flour, and I'm going to do 2 2/3 cups of wheat berries. The other thing too, what I like to do is I like to mix the hard red wheat berries with my hard white, because it gives a nice consistency to our bread. And that was a little trick that I learned just from experience and doing a little bit of research myself. So let me get those and we'll begin. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and I measured out the remainder of my hard red wheat berries, and I just measured out my hard white. And the hard white, I had a much larger amount of them. One thing I did want to mention is when you are checking your wheat berries occasionally, or as you bake, just make sure you're checking for, you know, that they look good, that you don't see any type of intrusion of bugs or anything like that. I mean, we have never had that problem, but I keep a few oxygen absorbers down here as well. And occasionally I might see a stone in there. So just be mindful of that. You'll recognize it. And that's just the way it is. And you may remember on a previous video that we had grown our own wheat on our property. And Andy went ahead and, I don't even know what you call that, thrashed the wheat and got our own wheat berries. So this hurts my hand. I do not like these lids. So I think what we're going to do is we will show you on another video if we're able to make bread from the harvest of the wheat berries from this past summer. I want to say it was this past summer that we did this, so I'll have to look. But we'll do that on another video. All right. Okay, so this is going to get a little noisy. It's a nice noise though. It's not, you know, too loud for me, but on the video you might not like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because it's going to get noisy, is I'm going to go ahead and set my setting to, it's already on there, bread. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this on, let it grind. I'll let the motor go for a little bit and you'll hear like a grinding noise. But then I'm going to start to add my wheat berries. And I want to consistently add them and make sure that they are all the way grinded up before I turn it off. All right, we're going to get started. Hey guys, as that slows down, you may have seen that there was a few berries that fell out of there because I wasn't paying attention. But nonetheless, all my wheat berries have milled up and my flour is contained in this canister. And I'll show you how that looks. Okay, so what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to detach this tube here. I'm going to unplug my Wondermill and turn that in. You can see here pretty clearly. It's hard to open things when you're cold. Your hands just don't work the same, but there you go. There we have our 2 2/3 cups of wheat berries that made 4 cups of our flour. So isn't that beautiful? All right, we're going to take it upstairs and start baking. Okay, we are in the kitchen and I have my ingredients ready to go. I wanted to show you real quick, and I may have on another video, but if I haven't, this is my Ankershroom mixer. It's a little pricey, but it is so worth it because this is not just a mixer, but it also kneads my dough. So it takes a lot of that manual work out of it, and I've had this for about 2 years now, and I absolutely love the results. Okay, so I have obviously my flour that I just milled in this tub here. I have my powdered lecithin, my dry yeast, some olive oil, an egg, honey, warm water. You want to make sure that this is hot to warm water, and then my salt over here. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Just wanted to show you the quick setup. So first things first, we're going to go ahead, and I have my recipe book out here because I like to refer to that because there's certain things that I might use and then there's things that I might not. So for today, I'm going to go ahead and just start adding in my liquids first and get started. So I'm going to turn this on to a low speed. About there. how quiet this is. I really like this anchor shrimp. My honey. Okay, this is local honey for us. I need 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add in an egg. I like to crack my eggs prior to putting them in, just to see what they look like. Make sure that they have a nice color to them. And what's nice is that is mixing up my egg in there as it turns. So I don't have to do any mixing of the egg. And then I'm going to add in my lecithin. So I'm not going to add in any rice bran extract or gluten. And that'll be that. Alright, so while that's mixing up, now I'm going to go ahead and add in 3 cups of my flour and mix just until a thick batter forms. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start adding my flour, and I'm going to start with adding 3 cups first. So after the 3 cups are added, I want to wait until my batter is just a thick consistency, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, here you can see that the batter is a thick consistency, and what's nice about this specific mixer is I can actually move my handle into the middle and kind of like incorporate those ingredients better. There we go. This here is a scraper that fits alongside the bowl and is continuously scraping off my dough. So let that mix up, it's almost ready. And just until a thick batter forms, I'm going to go ahead and spread the yeast over the top while this is mixing. Here's my yeast. In there. So now what I want to start doing is add in my flour a half a cup at a time. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start adding in a half a cup at a time. Incorporate that a little bit. Okay, so this is still mixing all of the ingredients with the flour. And again, I want to make sure that this batter is just enough of the I just want to make sure that as I'm adding this flour and mixing this together, just until a thick batter forms. And then we'll start the kneading process. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add this last half a cup of flour. This recipe always works, so I trust it. And I'm just going to go ahead and add that while that's all incorporating in there. What I do like to do with the Ankestroom is once I start that whole kneading process, which will be here shortly, I like to adjust my handle here just to about half an inch to an inch from the bowl while it starts that kneading process. And you can see here the scraper is literally like taking off the dough and guiding my dough around the bowl. You can see the batter getting thicker and starting to form. That's what you want to look for. Alright, so I'm going to let that continue. And then I'm going to start the kneading process at a setting of 12 minutes. This is my timer here, and then this is my setting. This first setting here is for the kneading. So really, it's the same as mixing the ingredients and kneading the dough. Okay, once you get your dough to the right texture, then you can go ahead and you can begin the kneading process. So I'm going to put this on the kneading process for a total of 8 minutes because that's typically what it takes. And it could take anywhere up to 12 minutes. It just depends on how much bread you're making and just the whole process itself. You know, every time I do it, it's a little bit different. But that's just because of the time of year, the moisture, the heat in the room, and there's so many different factors. So I'm going to go ahead and continue and start the kneading process. All right. Do is adjust this dough roller, and the way you do that is there's a nozzle back here, so I'm going to move it out a little bit, probably to about here, and lock that in place. Alright. Okay guys, I have the speed on medium. You can see that that is forming my dough. Moved my handle away from the side, so my dough roller is about a half an inch to an inch away. Okay, so what I've done is I've separated my dough into 2 pieces. I'm going to go ahead and knead this a little bit into a nice loaf and get them in my pans. Okay, so I've got both my loaves here. They're going to sit in this glass loaf pan with my parchment paper, and I'm going to go ahead and throw a towel over these and let them rise to half their size, and I'll put the timer on for an hour. Okay, it's 4:30 and we were obviously 3:30 because it's been an hour. I doubled up my flour. Yeah, that looks good. Wow, that looks really good. I think that helped that I doubled these with my flour sacks. Yeah. All right. Okay, what I noticed, and I did this last time, but it worked. So definitely, read your recipe and follow the instructions. But I went ahead and I cut these right after I took them out of the bowl and kneaded them and made my bread forms without letting it rise first and then cutting it. So what it did was basically did the same thing. So I was just telling my husband that I did this before and it worked. So I'm going to continue on with getting my oven preheated to 350. Okay, our oven is preheated to 350. And I'm going to go ahead and get these in the oven. Okay, so it has been 30 minutes and the one on the left is definitely higher than the one on the right, but that's okay. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put my thermometer in here and see what the temperature is. Okay, we want them to be at least 190. So we have a little bit longer to go since we're only at 167, 68, getting up to 170. Not too much longer. Okay, we'll check in a little bit. Okay, it's been another 15 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and check the temperature. That didn't come on. We want that to be at 190. Our oven does not heat up as quickly as we'd like. $188, $189, $190. Okay. So we are ready to take these out. Okay. I love to bake my bread in parchment paper. It just prevents any type of really cleanup. Trying to do this with one hand, not easy, but you get the point. Now what I do is just keep this bread on the side and let that cool down on the cooling rack. Okay, while these cool down, just a little tidbit, if you let your bread cool down on the side, it prevents it from collapsing and having all that extra weight. So it's nice and fluffy on the top. So I'm going to wait another 15 minutes and I should be able to do a little taste test.